powered by Riverside.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's 2 o'clock. It is a Friday. I'm Tony Mack. That is Tricky Ricky. It's the Bullpen. We're live here at Toyota Field in Madison, of course, home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas, as you can see all back here behind us on the wall. We do not have a mural of Sprocket because we're just big fans of them, which we are, and we just happen to also be the home that Sprocket built here. Toyota Field, home of the Trash Pandas. Keeping things going for you guys like we do every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 2 until 3. We're going to talk some sports. We'll talk some miscellaneous things, just catch you up on what's going on in our lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like me, I was at home sick with a 6-7-month-old, not yesterday, but on Wednesday. And I got to be honest with you, man. There are times like I'm at that weird age because I'm coming out of radio where like I feel young at times because, you know, people in radio that really hit their stride are older than we are and they always look at you like you're young, even though I'm in my 30s. They're like, oh, you're still young, you have plenty of time. But now that I'm out of the radio world, I realize that I'm in my 30s. Like I'm not some super young person anymore. And I felt that so much on Wednesday. I'm going to compare myself to a 7-month-old, but my 7-month-old son, Oliver, and I were both at home sick. He got me sick. He's bringing home the daycare crud. He got it. He's in a new class. So he's got all their germs, and all the kids in there have these just thick, snotty, runny noses. So he got it from them, brought it home, and he is super congested. Like finds it hard to breathe, can't lay down on his back for too long to sleep because he starts coughing real bad because he can't breathe. Super congested. Put him in his jumper. I mean, he is bouncing all over the place, 90 miles an hour, watching the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, doing the hot dog dance.
We've all been there.
Meanwhile, took me 3 hours to make a sandwich.
Hey, man, you're an old bum now.
3 hours to make a sandwich. I had to, like, my wife that morning when she was leaving to work, she was like, hey, when you get up, take some Dayquil, eat before you take the Dayquil, and then see if that helps you.
Smart.
She texted me at noon and was like, hey, have you taken the Dayquil yet? I was like, where's the mayonnaise? I can't. I'm trying to make a sandwich.
I bet that sandwich stunk, too, didn't
it? Wasn't
even good.
Dude. I ate the rest of the sandwich meat, and I was like, this was a waste.
It wasn't.
It was a waste of bread.
I was going to say.
Cheese.
It takes 3 hours to make a sandwich. No chance that sandwich is any good.
No, it wasn't great.
That sandwich has been exposed to the elements for far too long before ingested.
I ate it, though. And then took the Dayquil. I honestly preferred the Dayquil. It tastes way better. Way better than the sandwich.
If you'd have took the sandwich and maybe had a nice little
Dayquil
kind of vinaigrette, you could have, drizzled over the top. That might have given it some life. But
on any normal day, that sounds disgusting. But a day where your sandwich meat set out for 3 hours before you made one, probably wouldn't have been a bad.
That's called a garnish.
So, yeah, that's how I handled that one. But he's good. He's back at school now. He's been at daycare the last couple of days. I feel way better than I did on Wednesday. So we're back. We're ready to roll. That's why we didn't have a show on Wednesday. I wasn't here. Not only was I sick, but I was at home taking care of my sick 7-month-old.
I'm nervous, though, man. I got to be honest. Last time you came back from being sick, I got sick the next day. So
yeah, man. And it's
unlike being in a room with recycled air, hanging out with this old typhoid Tony over here.
I'd hate to get you sick on a long weekend, too.
Yeah, really. Yeah, you just imagine how much I'd hate it. Yeah.
Hey, man, I think you're going to be all right.
Maybe don't touch me. Maybe get your hand off my shoulder. Maybe when you talk to me, maybe just like look at the ceiling or talk into your sleeve, if that's okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe make a mask out of your clothing and then put that in between me and you.
Probably for the best, honestly.
It'd be great.
All right. Well, like I said, we have plenty to talk about, but we can't start in the sports world without giving a big congratulations to everyone that was honored today. So, I want everybody to give a big round of applause. Big round of applause.
I don't know what we're talking about. Oh, you want me to hit the button? Oh, sorry.
Big round of applause. For everyone in the SEC or former SEC players that made it on the AP first and second team All-Pro in the NFL.
Good thing we got that clap in there. This wouldn't have quite hit. Yeah, smart. Keep going. Sorry.
I wanted to give everyone a big round of applause, but
shout out to friend of the show, Josh Jacobs. Shout out, buddy.
So on the first team, all the SEC guys that made it: Josh Jacobs, Justin Jefferson, Quinnen Williams, Chris Jones, Roquan Smith, Patrick Surtain, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Daniel Carlson beat out Justin Tucker for first team kicker.
Okay.
Tommy Townsend, Florida. And then Keyshawn Nixon from South Carolina. Those are all your first-team guys. That's, 10 all SEC or 10 SEC former SEC players make the All-Pro first team in the NFL. 5 Alabama players there, and then on the second team, 1 Auburn player. On the second team, you've got Jalen Hurts, Nick Chubb, A.J. Brown, Andrew Thomas, Myles Garrett, Jeffrey Simmons, C.J. Mosley, and Nick Moore.
We counting Myles Garrett? Was he an SEC guy?
Yeah, he was in the SEC.
The
at
SEC?
the time. Yeah.
I'm thinking about Von Miller then,
Yeah,
right?
Von
That was
Miller.
okay. All right,
He's in
cool.
the
That
SEC
checks
at
out.
the time.
Hey, you know what? I think we should give him a round of applause. What do you think?
It's a great
That's
answer.
good, man. That's class. All right. That's good.
Congratulations to you guys. That's 5
Congratulations, friend of the show, Tommy Townsend.
5 Alabama players make that list, man. I saw someone talking about Alabama players the other day and said on Twitter in a conversation that wasn't about me, I just go and start reading drama because I don't like to get in drama. So I read the drama.
Yep.
And they were getting into it about the Alabama players don't do anything in the pros. And one guy was like, well, they're probably going to have at least 5 all first-team pros. And they did. And then 2 second-team guys. But also a big shout-out to the 4 Oklahoma players that made the list. 2 first-teamers, 2 second-teamers.
Boomer.
Sooner. Let's go, baby.
Ooh.
I had to throw you one today. That's good news. It's good news.
I'll take
Lane
it.
Johnson and Trent Williams, 2 old-school Sooners. They feel like, Trent Williams is only 34 years old. I thought he was like Andrew Whitworth age. It feels like he has been around forever, but he's 34.
Yeah, I thought he used to block for Elvis Gerbach back in the day, right? That 2000 Kansas City Chiefs team.
He this will show you how old Lane Johnson and Trent Williams are. They used to block for Landry Jones at Oklahoma.
Is that for real?
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
They blocked for Landry Jones. And
That was Stetson Bennett's freshman year. Do you know that?
they blocked for Landry Jones and Sam Bradford.
Stetson
college.
Bennett getting so many old jokes this week.
Dude, you see him? Oh my God! He did the Raising Cane's thing again, where he went and worked at the Canes after the championship.
Yeah.
And people were commenting on it this time. Last year, people thought he legitimately worked there, and like they thought he was just going to work after the championship. And now, they look at it and they're like, "Oh, here's his future. Here's his future running the Raising Canes." But he did have a good one. They got a video of him in the thing. He goes, "All right, your order total is going to be $65.07." That was the final score.
Oh, I was going to say $65 at a Raising Canes. I'm like, dang.
In this economy,
they're going to grow feathers. In this economy?
grow feathers.
It's like 7 chicken tenders in this economy. That's crazy. I hope they're sharing with someone else.
But it was the score of the game.
Dude, in the last 3 days, I've seen Stetson Bennett, I've seen Ben Affleck, and I've seen Stone Cold Steve Austin working drive-through windows. Is there something going on this week that I don't know about?
No, it's just like a popular NIL thing, like partnership thing for them to do. It's a great idea.
What NIL deal does Stone Cold Steve Austin and Ben Affleck got? Is that just part of the
what
market?
fast food do they work with? I don't know. They probably
Ben Affleck was doing it for Dunkin', bro. Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin'
have a cruel ass, smoke a pile, man. Go
Dunkin'
to the
probably
bathroom,
paid him to
see
go
what
there.
happens. Shout out to that Saturday Night Live skit. Love that one about Dunkin', bro. But I don't know what Stone Cold was doing, but he was definitely in a drive-through giving out coffee to people there. And now Stetson's just doing it. So I don't know. I thought I missed something. I was like, is it Celebrity Serves You Food Day? Is it a Friday the 13th thing? Today's Friday the 13th.
Probably just paying him to do it and get up. Like the line for that Raising Cane's when Stetson was ridiculous.
It's viral marketing now. It's like it's better to make a commercial with a guy working at a store than Ben Affleck going like, hey, come on, get yourself a good new Dunkachino. It's really good. You're going to love it. That's crap.
Yeah.
You get him to work a drive-through window. That's tweets all day. That's
100%.
smart.
It is. It's very smart, Mark.
Come on out to Champies tonight, 5 to 6. Tony Mac's going to be doing a Coyote Ugly thing on the bar. He's going to be serving drinks. He's going to dance every 30 minutes. It's going to be pretty fun.
You bring me the shortest shorts you can find, I'll wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On second thought, maybe just go to Champies the next day. Great place.
Come to Champions and pay me to not do that. How about
Proud partner of the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Has
Friend of the show, Champions.
Has anybody capitalized on that marketing yet?
What?
So those guys are showing up like they're paying them to go there and bring business.
Yep.
But has someone threatened like to do something that no one wants unless they pay them to not? Like I'm going to go out and I'm going to booty dance in front of this restaurant till you pay me enough money to go away. Has anybody done that?
Excuse me? What?
You know what I mean?
The celebrity throw that threat? Or
No,
just a
like
random person?
anybody. Has anybody capitalized on that?
No, I think that just results in jail time.
Probably.
That sounds like that sounds.
That's not a crime.
To threaten to dance on a bar until someone pays you to get off?
No, like do something out in front of the restaurant that people probably won't like.
No, that's loitering, dude.
Yeah.
You're getting put in the car.
You probably
for that
can't
one.
get escorted away.
I mean,
so.
you're not going to do hard time, but you're definitely getting You're getting shoved out of there, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a second.
I thought you meant like, I'm not like Stone Cold. I'm not leaving this Dunkin' Donuts till y'all give me $100,000. Like, I thought that's what you meant.
It's a good Stone Cold.
Ben Affleck has barricaded himself in the Dunkin' Donuts in Dorchester until he gets a bag full of $700,000. That'd be a good movie, actually. The Town 2.
He's just stuck
Just
in
a dude
Dunkin'
barricaded in a
Donuts
Dunkin' Donuts for 2 hours, waiting for a duffel bag full of cash to get there.
Oh my God.
Be a good flick.
I'd probably wait for the DVD or streaming.
You think some jerk got the guts to like order a drink with Stone Cold at the window, and he got the wrong one, and he got the nerve to like, hey, excuse me, Steve, does that taste like Diet Dr. Pepper to you? I didn't think so. Get out! Pour it in his face.
Austin 316 says you're an idiot.
Oh, that yeah. It would be a rough day to get a bad order.
Yeah.
You imagine how fired up you'd be. You're like, dude, I want to go in there and complain, but Ben Affleck's at the window. What am I going to do?
Can you imagine?
It's my word over his, and then no one's taking mine.
Mike Tyson just gave me a bag of napkins. He didn't even give me food.
I didn't even want a bear claw, but oh God.
Should I go say something? You just walk. Just please walk away. It's Mike Tyson. Don't do
Excuse me, Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
that.
I asked for 3 creamers and you only gave me 2. Do you mind? You mind if I get one more? Oh, thank God.
Mr. Stone Cold, sir?
Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I didn't know what. I don't even need an apple
Thank you
fritter.
so much.
If you have an apple fritter back there, I'll be back in 5. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna rethink about it. I'm going to my car, reevaluate my order. I'm sorry. I'm not a jabroni. Please don't beat me up.
I tell you what, though, people would definitely return it to Stetson Bennett, though, for sure.
Oh, do you know there's people going like, hey, man, what is this? I didn't order this. And then the manager comes over and says, sorry, look, that's Stetson Bennett, starting quarterback for the 2-time national champion Georgia Bulldogs. Like, huh? I didn't even know. That's a celebrity? That guy, you sure? Anyways, tell that guy to put some funny sauce in there, all right? Because I got places to be. I don't care what he won. Brock Bowers, where's he working? He working a drive-thru? Didn't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know what that deal is. I didn't know that Stone Cold and Ben Affleck were doing the drive-through stuff.
I saw it on Twitter. Yeah, like everyone just posting videos like, yeah, ordered a Dunkachino. Ben Affleck gave it to me today.
That's really cool. That's great. It really is good marketing.
It's great. Yeah, who wouldn't want to take a picture at the drive-through if handing you the drink's a celebrity?
Yeah, I don't drink coffee, so I don't go to Dunkin' and we don't have a Raising Cane's, but I would probably go wait in line for the right celebrity working at a fast food place.
Should be surprised people don't use John Daly more often and stuff like that. John Daly's just like Hooters. He does a lot of stuff for Hooters. Like I saw a woman he signed the other day.
What, he signed a person?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she offered.
Well, yeah,
you signed me, John. And he pulled a Happy Gilmore. Was like, you got it, baby. Like maybe John Daly working a convenience store, like selling cigs, taking a break every once in a while back, like, running into customers, changing the trash at the pumps, leaving a little early.
Dude, actually, instead of paying celebrities to come and like bring business, but like, hey, come down, they're giving away food or whatever it is, like being the honorary worker. Like, what about a reality show where they actually have to work those jobs, dude? Like, could you imagine like Ben Affleck as a cashier at Walmart, and someone's like, "Oh, hey Ben, no, thanks, it's great to meet you, man, but these are on sale."
And every week, one of the celebrities is fired for an actual person that's going to take their job and like work it after the show too.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Ben Affleck, you've been voted out of the Dunkin' Donuts. Seth from Dorchester will be working your shifts from now on. He's 17. He's a C student. And he's better than you at this. Please leave the Dunkin'. What's their tagline? What's Dunkin' Donuts tagline?
I have no idea.
Dang.
What it is.
We're giving them a lot of love today.
Yeah, we are.
All right. I'm done with them.
I don't care how many times I've watched Good Will Hunting. That's not what I ordered. Get it right.
What do they call their donut holes? Munchkins. I'm sorry, Ben. Your munchkins were subpar. We're going to need you to leave the Dunkin'.
That would be great.
That'd be a good one.
I'd love to see that. So they've got that. Oh,
they got to live in there too. It's pretty much Big Brother
They gotta live in the Dunkin'
Yeah,
Donut.
yeah.
Now that just reminds me of the Real World, that the one that Dave Chappelle did, the skit that he did.
Yeah.
The Real World, where they're like shooting dice in the alley
Mhm.
of whatever restaurant they were working in.
They stabbed that one guy's dad.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Shivved him real good.
Yep. What were we talking about?
I don't remember. We were talking about like the first and second team All Pro. I think.
Yeah, hey, let's get the. Hey, there you go, man! Congratulations,
Good job,
friend of the show, Andrew Thomas.
Georgia offensive
Great
lineman.
job, brother.
Former Georgia offensive
Out there getting it done. He's with the G-men, right?
Yeah.
Got the Vikings this week.
Let's see. Robert says we need sound alerts on the YouTube chat. You don't get. What do you mean sound alerts?
I guess when maybe a chat goes in there, we get a little.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll call Google and see what they can do, but they don't really
get Google.
They
on the
don't
phone.
return my calls.
All right, so we got that. The AP first and second all team all pro guys. We got the NFL playoffs starting on Saturday. Again, it's Super Wildcard weekend, so you got games on Saturday, 2 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday, and a game on Monday night. And we did finally get the news as to where the neutral site game would be if it is a Kansas City versus Buffalo AFC Championship game. And that game will be Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. So I think it's like almost split. It's like they're like 800 and something miles apart a piece from that place. I would have loved it to have been in Nashville. That'd have been cool. It's outdoor. People think that these are outdoor teams. They need to play outside on natural grass and not on turf in an indoor dome. But it being in Atlanta is still pretty cool, dude. I mean, Atlanta's not going to host an NFC Championship game anytime soon because they stink. So
hey, they're young.
We're getting
young.
We're getting an NFC Championship game, or an AFC Championship game potentially. They're in Atlanta between the Chiefs and the Bills, and I'll tell you, man, I'm pretty interested. I would love to go to that game.
Oh my God, it'd be an amazing game. Josh Allen and the Bills versus Mahomes and the Chiefs on turf.
Do you think we're actually going to get it?
Let's go. I do. I think the Bills with the Damar Hamlin thing, I think that's going to carry. I think that's going to give them a little extra juice, maybe get them by, a team like the Bengals if they get matched up against them. I haven't looked at the seeding close enough to see, who lines up against who with wins, but I mean, the Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, I could see any two of those three teams playing for it.
The Bengals, I mean, it's not a gimme, and they just played this team, but it's going to be a lot easier than it would have been. I mean, they're going to take on the Ravens without Lamar Jackson. That broke right before the show that he's officially been ruled out for that game. And I mean, you both thought that he was going to try to play in this one. And I can understand why he's not playing. And I can understand why his teammates, Sammy Watkins, publicly spoke out about being a little upset about him not being out there and potentially not playing. This was before it broke that he wasn't playing. I can understand both sides of it because if you're Lamar Jackson, you've been trying all year to get a contract done, right? But in the offseason this past season, you were trying to get all kinds of guaranteed money, whatever the deal was supposed to be. You were trying to get paid. You're one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. You wanted your money, and you didn't get it. And now you're hurt, and you're potentially talking about going and playing a playoff game while you're injured, not 100%, and potentially causing a long-term injury with a contract in the balance, right? Kyler Murray kind of had it perfect. He signed that big contract and then got hurt, right? I mean, obviously it's not ideal to get hurt.
Kyler did do it perfect. Yeah. If you're going to stink, if you're stinking up after signing a contract, do it like Kyler.
No, but if you're going to get hurt after the contract, right? Like Kyler got his guaranteed money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it worked out better in all seriousness. It worked out better for Kyler Murray because he got the contract done before. Lamar doesn't have that luxury.
It's the only person it worked for.
He doesn't want to go out there and risk it, right? Go out there and hurt himself for a team he may not be playing for and then not get the money that he wanted. So I can totally understand where he's coming from. If you're Sammy Watkins, where your NFL history probably relies on Lamar Jackson playing in this playoff game, I can understand where you're coming from with wanting him to play. Both of them have arguments to stand
on. Look, I was telling you before the show, the Ravens and Lamar Jackson kind of set themselves up for a situation like this at the beginning of the year. The Ravens, by not giving the man a contract, paying him up. I mean, they built that team around Lamar Jackson's style.
100%.
Every quarterback backup they get is a guy they can find that's the closest to the Lamar Jackson style. They run 3 tight ends. Their receiver room looks like the XFL. Everything is built around Lamar. So if you're not going to pay him, why build all of these different pieces around him? So you set yourself up there. Then Lamar also set himself up by firing his agent and hiring his mother. I love my mom. Best lady ever. I wouldn't trust her to do a 9-digit deal for me. I wouldn't trust myself to do a 9-digit deal. We need to get an agent in there, someone who does this regularly. So they both set themselves up for this issue. And worst case scenario, Lamar gets hurt before the end of the year. This is now his 6th game he'll miss with is it a PCL strain?
It's something in the knee, yeah.
Something there. So if you're Lamar and you play the way you do, you got a real chance of, heck, man, maybe even ending your career if you got a knee injury. You go play like Lamar, you play in a game like this, it could be over.
100%.
But at the same time, you got guys like Sammy Watkins going, I want you to do what's best for you, but this might be my last game. Who knows? I might never play in the NFL again. And I like Tyler Huntley and all, but he's just not very good. And the guy behind him is even worse.
That's why he's behind him.
Yeah, and we don't throw the ball very well to the wide receivers when you're in there, especially when these other guys are in there. So that's kind of where you're at until they pay Lamar. How are you going to build on a team that's built around a guy that you don't pay?
True. So, question. I got an interesting question. Would you rather have? I'm trying to do this one on the fly here because not the Bengals, but the Dolphins are starting Skylar Thompson in a playoff game. Not ideal for them. Teddy Bridgewater has like a strained thumb or something.
Yeah.
And then of course Tua's didn't clear concussion protocol, so he's out. So you got Skylar Thompson, a 7th-round rookie out of Kansas State, starting a playoff game. You've got Tyler Huntley throwing to like XFL wide receivers in Baltimore. Would you rather have the I'm trying to figure out the best way to put this.
Put it together.
If you're in a playoff game, right? Would you rather have the situation that Miami has found themselves in, where you have Skylar Thompson, but the weapons that they have, or would you rather be in Baltimore's situation where if Lamar Jackson was playing, you would have a stud quarterback, but really no weapons? Which one would you prefer going into a playoff game?
Ooh.
Because you can't doubt Miami's weapons. I mean, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
But it's not like the Ravens don't have weapons. I mean, they have a good run game. Mark Andrews is very good. The receivers are, they probably got the worst group in the league.
I don't know. It's close, but I don't know if it's that.
Who do you think's the worst?
I don't know. Before the season,
Patriots?
I would have said the Patriots is bad.
But I still think it's better than the Ravens.
I mean, people are going to hate me for saying this. Titans is really bad.
Titans is pretty bad.
People are going to hate me for saying this because he's young and got potential, but the Falcons' receiving core is not great.
Pitts and London, though, you got potential.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. And they did get London at this
The Bears are not great. I mean, there's a lot of criticism around the Chase Claypool trade. They get a first rounder for Claypool, and he had 14 catches after that for like 130-something yards, And is he really a guy you think is going to be your number one? Like if you're the Bears who are making all kinds of moves at the top, they're ready to, get behind Justin Fields and make a run at this thing. Are you looking at Chase Claypool and going, oh, well, we're set there? No. So if I had to pick, I think I'd take the Ravens situation because we've got a divisional matchup. We are a team that has traditionally played defensive games, low scoring, grind it out, get crucial 4th downs, make big field goals. That's how we play. Like the Ravens are an ugly team, an ugly 10-win team. And they sometimes get it done like that. Like they win games like that. The Dolphins having to play the Bills and with Skylar Thompson, your 3rd stringer who, I mean, let's face it, that man, if they beat the Bills, that would be an all-time upset. What good are your weapons if you don't have a way to get it to them?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in that same line of thinking, now I'm just thinking about switching it up and putting different people in different places. This weekend, if we swap the quarterbacks of these two teams, how do you see them faring? If the Bengals,
you're saying Ravens, Dolphins?
No.
Okay.
Take Joe Burrow away from the Bengals, and they've got great weapons, no doubt. Skylar Thompson's their quarterback this weekend. The Ravens have a shot.
I think the Ravens have a shot no matter what, because like I said.
Well, do the Ravens win then if Skylar Thompson is quarterbacking the Bengals this weekend with all the weapons that they have?
No, maybe. I don't know, dude. That's a tough one to answer because I don't know. I mean, I've watched Skylar Thompson play a couple games. It's not like anyone's going to be giving him a chance to be a starter next year in free agency or try to trade for him or anything like that. I just think the Ravens they're more set up to play an ugly game than the Dolphins are. The Dolphins rely heavily on Tua's ability to get the ball to those guys, and when Tua's been out, they've suffered.
I got a really good one for you here. All right, just another playoff scenario. Instead of taking a player away, I'm going to take a coach away and replace him with another coach.
Okay.
Let's say you take Andy Reid away from the Chiefs, put Brandon Staley there.
Ooh.
How far are the Chiefs going?
Chiefs bow out in the divisional. They lose. They lose to who's in the AFC? Dolphins, Chargers, 6-0. They lose to the Jags. They lose to the Jags at home. Barn burner game. Staley makes a poor decision. Decides, on a big third down. We got Patrick Mahomes. What play should we do here? Running back pass. And Jerick McKinnon throws a pick.
Our guys,
and Chiefs lose.
It's 4th and 8 from our own 5-yard line, and it's in the second quarter. Analytics say go for it. Let's go for it.
Can we talk about Brandon Staley for a minute? Because this dude has managed in 2 straight years, the final game of the season, to pick the worst decision he could possibly make for a game plan.
I didn't think he could be worse than last year too, because last year they're playing the Raiders. If there's a tie, then both teams
make the playoffs.
Go to the playoff. And that situation, like they were both like, we're obviously going to try to win the game, right? But it got down to the situation where you had the opportunity to tie. And Brandon Staley, and Brandon Staley decided to not do that. And it not only like he instead of both teams making the playoffs, Brandon Staley said only one team's going, and it's not going to be us.
The Raiders conceded.
Yeah, they did, 100%.
They were ready to kneel that thing out, shake hands, see you in the playoffs. Staley says, "Not so fast, my friend. I've got a vacation plan next week. We're out." Pretty big goof right there.
And somehow it was worse this year.
I know. Okay, so you're going into a Week 18 game divisional against the Denver Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Very good defense all year. Offense been taking a beating. I don't have to reiterate how the Broncos season went for you. Going into the game, they can't move at all. They're a wild card team. Chiefs got the division. They can't raise their seed. There's absolutely no benefit to winning the game or losing the game, tying the game, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Most teams bench their starters. Staley, not so fast, my friend. I'm going to put all of my important players on the field, and we're going to try to win this game that really does not mean anything because it will be in the playoffs of the same seed, same team, no matter what. And what happens? Mike Williams gets hurt, and reports today are that he's out for 2 to 3 weeks. So unless the Chargers make the Super Bowl, Mike Williams is probably out for the season due to Brandon Staley's stubborn idea to play all of his starters in a game that doesn't matter. And then the cherry on top, now with the news of Mike Williams being injured, reporters are asking, "Hey, Staley, how you feel about that decision to play your starters?" In which he replies, "I stick with my decision to play those men against the Broncos.
Do it again."
I would do it all over again. And it's like, how stupid are you, man? We all know you messed up. You know you messed up. Guy just said, if you could redo it, would you do it? And you're like, yeah, I would. Like, that's if we made a dog, the coach of the LA Chargers, and we put a treat on a piece of paper that said, rest your starters. It doesn't matter. And then an equal treat on another piece of paper that says, just play your starters and risk injury. Even though that dog does not understand English and will probably eat both treats on top of that, I feel like that dog in its gut, deep down, not even knowing the rules of football or how humans communicate and compete with each other, would go, we should probably leave Mike Williams out of this one. We should probably sit Mike.
When you say that he got hurt and he's going to be out like 2 to 3 weeks, it's not like he had, he rolled his ankle or something and needs the swelling to go down. And by the time the Super Bowl rolls around, he might be 100% healthy. The dude fractured his back. Like he's still probably not going to be 100% when he comes back in 3 weeks if they make the Super Bowl. So somehow Brandon Staley makes that mistake again. And if you look at this team, you go look at the Chargers roster. This is a team that should have more than 10 wins. 100%.
Oh,
But
man.
the Chargers team only is a 10-win team, and we knew this division was going to be tough coming into the season, but it didn't turn out to be as tough as we thought it was going to be. That is a very good, very well built Chargers team that is just poorly managed, very poorly managed. They need a new head coach, and then they could win. They could win a ton of football.
There's a lot of teams in the league with less talent than the Chargers that do a lot better. The Ravens have the same record.
Wow.
Ravens have started Anthony Brown at quarterback, receivers that I honestly don't even know. They've been as far down as 4th on the running back depth chart for numerous weeks. They're 10-7. The Chargers, who have dealt with injury with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and Herbert getting hurt a little bit, but still, Herbert's been there pretty much the entire year. Eckler's had an all-time year. Yeah. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen get back late in the season, contribute. Defense is solid, too. You pick up guys like Khalil Mack. Joey Bosa gets in there late. Derwin James is hitting people so hard he got ejected from a game, which I hadn't seen in years. And the team has the same amount of wins as the Ravens.
It's ridiculous, man. That team's way better than a 10-win team.
And when you got a guy like Sean Payton out there just lurking over the NFL, like Sean Payton's name's getting brought up by every team that's got a coach, and he's on TV. They're asking him, like, what do you think the possibility is of you getting back in the game 1 to 10? And he goes, 7. Like, he knows he's getting back. Like, he's teasing us. Mm-hmm. And if you're Brandon Staley, you can't afford goof ups like this because that man is better at your job than you are, and we know it, and now he could have your job.
And there are teams without coaches that people are saying, well, would Sean Payton want to go here? Would he want to go here? Is the team that's going to fire their coach going to be the Cowboys so they can go get him? But in reality, it should be the Chargers. That's going to be his best chance to get a good spot.
I feel like they are destined to lose to Jacksonville this week now. They got to go to Jacksonville.
It might be the best thing to happen for them.
Who Trevor Lawrence has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league this last month and a half of the season. The receivers the Jags are a good team. I think they beat the Chargers this week. I think the Chargers fire Staley, and you have to go for Peyton. I mean, the Chargers are set. Like, they don't even have to go out of their way to get guys. They're ready to go.
That'd be a big-time move for them because they're in the same division, obviously, as the Chiefs. So you got to
in a very competitive AFC. I mean, Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Chargers all have the potential to be Super Bowl contenders every year for the next decade.
Well, we keep hearing that, like, in the AFC, it's the Chiefs, Bills, and the Bengals, and you hear it's Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen. And it very, very, very well could be Justin Herbert also up there as that 4th guy if you change the coach. It really could be. It might be that simple. So, brutal.
He's kind of played himself.
Yeah, Brandon Staley is kind of a goob. Let's see. Another thing I wanted to discuss to get out of the NFL a little bit, going to the college football game. Is this our first chance to react to the national championship? No, we had a chance on Monday to react to that blowout in a championship game.
We haven't had a chance to react to it.
Oh yeah, that's right. We previewed it on Monday.
Yeah.
Wow.
How would you like to react to it real quick? Maybe just count of 3. Give me your reaction. All right, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's about same here. Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Obviously, Georgia won.
It stunk.
One guy that won a championship with Georgia last year is on the outside looking in this year's. Dan Lanning did a really good job at Oregon this year, but somehow he is a hotter topic to discuss than that national championship game because of the decision he made over the weekend. Now, I'm not against tattoos at all. I have 3 tattoos. I'm going to get a couple of more here eventually. But I've never in my lifetime, I've steered away from sports tattoos. I don't think I'd ever want to get like my favorite team tattooed on me anywhere or anything like that. It just doesn't interest me at all. But Dan Lanning, the head coach of Oregon, I want you to soak this picture in real good right
here. I'm doing that.
It's a mural of his wife, right?
Yeah.
It's a picture of Dan Lanning's wife, and she has several college football related tattoos upon her. And I'm going to go ahead and take a guess as you're pulling up a picture.
But not
of her
in real life.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The tattoo version of her is covered.
I was going to say, I'm going to take a guess as you pulled up a picture of her in real life. She does not actually have these. She does not actually have the Alabama A tattooed on her cheek.
I don't believe she has the PIT of the Pitt logo tattooed in between her chest.
Yeah,
I don't think there's.
I don't
think there's many people walking around with a tattoo quite like that.
I would also guess that on top of one of her bosoms, she does not have a tattoo of the state of Texas.
Did Dan Lanning get a tattoo of his wife with tattoos that she doesn't actually have?
Yeah, dude. I mean, do you see her with an Oregon O on her neck? No, it's
That's a
only in the
weird
pictures.
combination of all the things you love. That's a weird.
What's
Yeah,
the,
people mention work-life balance a lot. I don't think that's how you balance it. I don't think you cram it all into one tattoo.
what's the yellow ribbon mean? I forget the yellow one. the
Yellow
pink
ribbon,
ribbon's
some kind of cause.
breast cancer, right? What's the yellow ribbon? Did she have something going on with this? Maybe.
It's veteran affairs.
Oh, she a vet? Because
Maybe he's a veteran.
maybe the yellow ribbon is in the
Suicide
middle.
prevention awareness.
Okay. Well, the yellow ribbon is in the middle of the Oregon O that's on her neck. And then I don't even know what's written across her collarbone. What is that?
Look like children's names or types of.
It says Caden, Niles, Kniles, and Titan.
Yeah. I think those are models of buck knives or children's names.
I would have guessed children until Titan. That sounds like a dog.
That's what I'm saying. I think.
Who names their kid Titan?
I don't know. I used to know a guy who whittled. I think he had a Titan. Niles with a K too. Very.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of setting your kid up to become a butler with a name like Niles with a K.
Cool.
But let's not get caught up in the names because the tattoo is really what you should be checking out here.
If you're his wife, what is your response? Like, hey, honey, I got this mural of you tattooed on me. You want to see it?
I'd be like, why did you tattoo me as if I had just served 15 years in prison? She's got prison tats all over her. She doesn't even really have those tats. Why would you get a picture of me covered in prison like tattoos? Tattoo yourself like you're in prison.
What's the worst tattoo on her in this thing? Because there's so like you got the.
It's got to be the Pitt logo in between her boobs. That's crazy.
What about the Oregon neck tattoo? Oregon neck tattoo.
At least the O in the wings, like it fits the neck. The guy tattooed Pitt and couldn't even fit all the letters visibly. She would have, what she would have to be doing for you to see the full Pitt logo. And that's just insane, dude. And then to have the Alabama logo down by the eye, like a teardrop, like she murdered Saban on the way out. Like,
also underrated here. I can't see what's written above her eyebrow, but she's got an area code.
Oh my God,
down
it says 33-18. That was the final score of last year's national championship.
Oh my God.
Dan Lanning prison tattooed last year's Natty score on his wife's fake tattoo face.
Is that an Arizona Sun Devils trident thing there?
And that is, yeah, it's a Sun Devil. This is amazing.
And
there's a zip code.
A zip code.
There's
right
a Sun Devils trident, the score of last year's national championship, and an Alabama logo all
on her face.
All around
one
her
side of her
bone,
face.
Yeah.
One side of her face. She's got an area code on her sideburn.
And is that next to his nipple in this picture? Is that his hairy nipple to the left of her face?
It is.
Oh my God, he got it under his armpit.
He got it in his rib cage. Oh no. What area code is 816? Let's see. It's Kansas City area code.
I've seen a lot of great tattoos that include people and logos all weaved into a cool artistic thing. This is not one of them. This is awful.
Everyone says like tattoos have their own meanings.
Oh my God.
Themselves. I don't really want to know what the meaning is here. I could just leave this up for interpretation. I don't know what the hell I interpret it to mean, but I'll just leave it up for interpretation.
I think Dan Lanning's trying to frame his wife for a felony.
Oh my God.
I think he wants her in prison because he's straight prison tatted her up, man.
What's this? Is it a boomerang?
That's a boomerang. Dude,
I'm finding new things every time I look at this. He should have just tattooed Waldo in there somewhere. Where's he at? Where's he hanging out?
This is like when my cat walks across the keyboard of my computer and then hits enter and it Googles something random. This looks like how Dan Lanning figured out what objects to tattoo on his wife's tattoo face, which is crazy to take. This whole thing is nuts.
I just don't get it.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's not a great one.
It's like
we're no stranger to bad tattoo in the sports world. I mean, that happens.
It's like he walked into the tattoo parlor and he said, I'm going to write 8 words on this piece of paper and I want you to surprise me. I want them all to be in the same thing. Just these 8 words. My wife, Oregon, Alabama, 816, the scored a championship game, Pitt, the state of Texas, and these 3 names.
You want me to cut the picture off right around the neck? No, let it go down by halfway, like down her chest a little. You sure? This might be the mother of your children. You sure you want? No, let's go ahead. She's not wearing a shirt. She's not wearing a shirt in the tattoo.
It's awful. So,
and her right boob was stamped by the University of Pittsburgh.
This can't be the worst sports tattoo, though, right? It's got to be up there. But what's the worst sports tattoo you've ever seen?
This one. This one makes no sense.
I don't understand it.
What what is this a tribute to?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Have you ever seen like when those AI systems, like I get on Twitter and be like, is AI, someone would be like, hey,
yeah,
write a painting of Paul Blart Mall Cop juggling balls while riding a unicycle. And then like the AI, not knowing what that is, just uses computer information. And it usually draws some weird, goofy photo, but it gets somewhat of the gist. Dan Laney did this with his brain, did this with a human brain. He concocted this thing.
I love how also, like, and I would hate to be in this picture. Alongside that picture, he posts a picture of him with the tattoo artist. I wouldn't want to put my name on that one, dude. I'd bow out of that picture. Like, I'm good.
No, this post is from the tattoo artist.
Look. No, it's not.
Alec Turner Tattoos.
Oh, shout out my brother Coach
Dan
Lanning, for sitting like a rock for this. It was an honor and a pleasure, my dude. Oh, I wouldn't want to put that out there like that.
It is a good tattoo.
It looks nothing like his wife.
As far as quality.
It looks nothing like his wife.
That's because she's covered in prison tats that she doesn't have in real life.
It's nothing like her. Nothing like her.
No, kind of.
No.
A little bit. I've seen way worse.
Yeah, I've seen worse.
That's not bad. I mean, look, we got one photo of their profile. That looks like her. But the fact that she's covered in tattoos that don't actually exist, but are actual just landmarks of Dan Lanning's life.
I honestly am stumped at like which one is more bizarre to have on her in this tattoo, because she legitimately has an area code going down her sideburn. Yep. She has an Alabama teardrop, an Oregon neck tattoo, and pit in her cleavage. Makes no sense.
The score of last year's national championship above the eyebrow is a real,
and a boomerang.
That's a real punch.
Are they Australian? Are you Australian?
A boomerang.
I don't think you are. I don't think they are.
I'm gonna take that off my screen now. That's not visually.
So pleasing. what are some others? If that's the worst sports tattoo you've seen, what are some others that can hang in there?
I mean, Alabama fan, I immediately think about AJ McCarron.
Oh,
I remember when everyone found out about our boy AJ, who had I don't even know what it is. Can you pull that up?
Oh yeah, it's got like a weeping Jesus, doesn't it?
I think it does.
I believe it does. Yeah,
and it doesn't look good. It looks like if Jim Henson made a Muppet inspired by Jesus. Does that make sense?
No.
You know how Muppets have that certain kind of look? They've got that puppet look to them, the mouth, the eyes, all that.
I can see it now that
it looks like if the Swedish chef dressed up as Jesus. That's what his tattoo looks like.
God, why won't this pull up big for me?
I don't know, but it's so bad. It's and the thing is, he added on to it, which I think
his shirt.
They sell T-shirts with the tattoo on it. His bare chest, just a tattoo. But like initially, it was just a thing in the middle of his chest, and it just looked random because he had no other tattoos. And then I think he added on to it to fill out the full top of his chest. But
there's someone photoshopping it onto Mac Jones. That's interesting.
You gotta really commit to putting some tattoos on your body if you're gonna go chest tat. Like you gotta get a lot tattooed, or it just looks odd.
That's brutal.
Let me see.
I can't blow it up. I don't know why I can't find one that'll actually go big on my screen.
He's got a good lawyer representation or something. They might have wiped it off.
There's like a word in a shield or something written here, and I can't tell what it says.
Yeah, it's never good when you get a tattoo and it requires a magnifying glass for you to even find out what's going on.
I can't tell if that says G-O-D, God, or goo, G-O-O.
Probably goo.
It kind of legitimately looks like it says goo. I'm dead serious. Look at that. Tell me that doesn't look like legitimately like it could say goo.
No, that does look like goo. He's got Swedish Chef Jesus, and to the left, he's got the word goo.
Yeah, right above the word MVP. Home team. Looks like Ma and Pops or something. I don't know, but it's interesting.
Nothing wrong with tattooing things about your life on yourself because you want to do it.
AJ's made some tough life
Take your
decisions.
time.
Hmm?
Yeah.
He's made some tough life decisions, man. He's got that tattoo, and I didn't know you graced me with this information today. He has a restaurant in Tuscaloosa.
Got a sushi place.
He decided he was going to open up an Asian cuisine, and he told the contractor and everybody that helped him do this. He says, "I want to open up a sushi restaurant, but I want it to say sushi, but I also probably have a chest tattoo."
Mm-hmm.
And you compile all that into the same machine that made Dan Lanning's tattoo of his wife, and you get Asian sushi. AJIAN, Asian sushi. How did that get cleared? How did that clear approval from everybody but AJ?
I'm so happy that I got to introduce you to the restaurant that AJ McCarron opened up after he left Alabama called Asian, which is just a combination of the word Asian and his name AJ.
College kids.
Just like his tattoo, a combination of things that did not pair well together.
And the headlines is college kids love Asian.
A restaurant with an offensive name is the finish of that headline.
How did this clear any approval? This blew my mind when you told me that today. I had no clue this was a real thing and that it was still open.
Yeah.
Asian.
It says, after some reporting, I learned that this was an incorrect assumption. The restaurant's name, which, if it isn't racist, it is by design racist. Co-owners McCarron and Pete Zimmer said there's been a lot of blowback on the name, but it's not racist. It's just a clever little pun. I don't think that's a pun. That's not how puns work. You just mashed words together. Which I agree. I don't even know if it is Asian or if it's just a stupid way to spell a name.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to say that it is or isn't racist. I'm not trying to get caught up in that. But the time that we're living in, you can easily tell how that's going to come off, right? Like, the majority, the general population is going to look at that and go, that's probably offensive to someone. And people that are looking for a reason to be offended are going to look at that and get offended. Asian.
I mean, hey, it's AJ.
Have
We're
you been?
serving Asian food. Welcome to Asian. Whatever.
Have you been?
I walked by it. I took a photo in front of it. I was scared to eat there, though. I'm not trusting the food. I'm not going to eat Asian food from a quarterback who's not Asian. That doesn't. I don't know what that is. Huh?
Do you
There's no
think
way that can be good, but it is still open. According to their website, it's still running. So they're doing something right over there at Asian.
Do you think somebody in there is like, hey, do you guys serve Asian food? They're like, no, it's Asian food.
It's Asian food, dude. Get out of here. Get out of here until you figure it out.
Hey, AJ, you don't think – I mean, I can't believe not one person went up to him and saw the sign and went, oh no. It being in big letters probably hammered it home like this isn't a good idea. Can't believe nobody went up to him and was like, hey, what happened to like Touchdown Sushi? Where's
yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. Titletown Eats. That'd have been fun. Nope.
Where'd that
Asian,
go?
though. We'll go with Asian. That way, nobody has any idea what the hell's going on here.
That blows my mind that that's a real place that actually exists.
It's not
that
a good-looking word on paper.
No.
AJIAN. It doesn't like – it makes you confused as how to even pronunciate that word.
We have a restaurant right here, the Publix across the street called Asian House.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to go in there. Hey, do you guys have Asian food?
Could you imagine if the barbershop next door went out of business and they opened up an Asian house right next door? You'd be like, what the?
That's amazing.
Got this bootleg run-of-the-mill Asian restaurant next door, and they're going to take our money because the quarterback's there.
Oh, man. I didn't mean to get sidetracked. I want to go back to AJ's dumb tattoo and talk about dumb tattoos. Do you have any tattoos?
Me? No.
Yeah.
Yo, for real, though, like we're talking about bad tattoos. I see how it happens, though, because I was this close to getting a stupid tattoo.
Oh, yeah?
When I worked in radio with WZYP, there was a remote for like a tattoo expo or something. And they, instead of paying me, they were going to give me a free tattoo.
Ooh.
And I didn't want a tattoo. I wanted some money, but I don't think that was the option. It's like, look, you take a tattoo, you're not getting it. I'm like, all right, this could be a good way to get some ink. And I sat there and I thought about it. I'm like, what do I want to get tattooed? I couldn't really think of anything, dude. I'm like, man, I am lame. I can't think of anything cool, artistic, whatever. And so after much thought, I finally got down to, I'm going to put Yosemite Sam right here in this chest cavity in the middle, like right here on the front of my chest. Him, two guns out. Wow, I'm gonna get, and then I was like, no, that's stupid. I can't do that. That's stupid.
Good decision.
But I'll get a different tattoo. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get Macho Man Randy Savage right here on my bicep, and it's gonna say "Living the Dream."
That's not nearly as bad as Yosemite Sam on your chest.
And I decided, you know what? Maybe Macho Man Randy Savage on my bicep saying "Living the Dream." Not a great tattoo either. And I didn't do it. But man, I was close. I had the emails in there. Said, "Sign me up. I'll figure out what I want."
I got one for you. All right. I have 3 tattoos. I'm going to show you this one. I want you to read it to me. All right.
Okay.
And then I'm going to tell you the story, and then have you go back and read it again.
You gonna take your shirt off?
No, I'll just go.
There we go.
What that says.
Psalms 23.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
So I got this tattoo almost 10 years ago now. It was my first tattoo, and it was out there in Huntsville. I can't remember. I can't remember who did it now at this point. But I got it done. I got it done late at night, and we got back to our apartment. I was just about to start going to UNA. This was right before I started UNA. I was still going to Calhoun, and we get back to the apartment, and I posted a picture of it on Facebook, and I was happy. I'm like, I finally got my first tattoo. It's in honor of my granddad. The date that's on it is the date my grandfather passed away. Me and him were really, really close, and somebody, I guess, was up as late as I was, and they commented on my picture. It was one of my best friends, and they were like, "Oh, hey, they didn't spell that right." And I was like, "What?" So I went and I looked, because I'm looking at a picture. I have to go like this. I was like, my heart just sank into my stomach. I'm like, "Oh my God, oh no, he didn't spell Psalms right."
Oh no.
So I had to go back and get it touched up. Now that I've told you that, look at it and look at the
oh
S and
my
the A there.
God, dude!
You can see it. You can tell that
So
used to be an A and that used to be the S. Instead of PSA, he had it PAS.
He spelled it
Pasm.
Palsums. You got a tattoo of Palsums.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Palsums. I don't even know how to say that word. It was so incorrectly spelled.
yeah. So
I'm a big fan of the Bible. You probably know this verse. It's Psalms 23.
Pasms 23.
It's Psalms 23.
So the actual verse.
I can't find Psalms anywhere in my. Oh,
yeah. So the actual verse is,
which is crazy for a word with a silent P. They're like, I got the silent P. I got that. It's the Psalms part. I put an A in front of the Psalms.
The thing is, he had me write it for him before, and I know I spelled it correctly.
How do you do that?
He messed it up on the stencil. I just never caught it, so it's partially my fault too.
Do you get that touch up for free?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you
definitely
get like another one for free? Like another tattoo?
I was supposed to be able to get it touched up because it had a bunch of color in it, but I never went back. So
at least you didn't have to get it touched up because you got your wife's name on there and then she cheated on you and you had to get it turned into something.
I'm not that dumb. I'm never gonna get someone's name tattooed on.
Or at least it was in English and it wasn't like a Chinese character. Like I read that who was it? It was like Marcus Camby or somebody from the NBA got. No, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can pull this up real quick. I found it. Oh, dude, it was Marquise Daniels. He played at Auburn back in like the early 2000s. I remember because I was a big Mavericks fan back in the day, and he played for the Mavericks. And he had a Chinese character on his arm, and when it was translated to English, it stood for "Healthy Woman Roof."
What was it supposed to say?
Probably not that. I would imagine. Probably something other than "Healthy Woman Roof."
Marcus.
No, "Healthy Woman Roof." So at least at least you got Psalms out of Psalms instead of like strength and resilience. Turned into "Healthy Woman Roof."
Yeah. The verse is supposed to be the one that's, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil, for you're with me. But instead, I got Psalms 23. He patched it up. You couldn't tell before until I pointed it out. So it's not an awful patch job. But now that I put
I'm not gonna lie.
Once I pointed out, you can tell.
I noticed before that.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything because I could tell what it was, but the S, I didn't want to insult your tattoo.
Well,
now that I know that there was a goof up, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The S and the A is, there's a little. It's got some shadowing there.
It's not. It
because of both Psalms over there that couldn't spell the word.
Yeah,
nailed the silent P though.
That was my first tattoo. My first tattoo.
Man, that stinks. Sorry. Looks good now though.
Yeah. Well, it's almost 10 years old.
That's
At
good.
that one in 2013, I got this one on my ribs in 2014, and I got this one in 2020.
I've been debating for a few years not getting any tattoos until I'm like 75, and then getting,
Gnarly.
covered, like
Yeah.
2 sleeves,
It'll look
my
better in
whole
this
back.
one at 70.
And like when you get a tattoo young and you get old, it sags and deforms and looks weird. If I let my skin deform and sag and then I get it tattooed, I can adjust to the sags. You know
That's
what
true,
I mean?
you
That's
can.
gonna be a clean looking old man tattoo, not these saggy sawmares, whatever's going. There's no telling what it's gonna look like in a few years.
When you're 70 years old, you should get a tattoo of Dan Lanning's wife right there on your
Oh, at 75 years old, I'm gonna get a picture of my wife tattooed like she's served 50 years at Rikers. You know, she did some horrible stuff, and
Oh,
and she
man.
has not reformed in her time at prison. In fact, she's become a better criminal.
Yeah, she did not handle it well.
No. She's running a gang in there. She hasn't had a left eyebrow for years because that's just how they roll. You know.
So, what are some bad sports tattoos that you've seen?
I remember Kenyon Martin back in the day. You remember?
Is it the lips?
He had the
Yeah.
kissy lips behind his right ear. And, you know, that one was so red and vibrant, you always noticed it. But I saw Kenyon Martin a little while ago, and then I realized that whoever's lips those were, he's no longer together with. So he had to do the move like you, except it wasn't, you know, like he made a bad call tattooing these ladies' lips. And do you even know what that is?
Is it a speedometer? I don't know. What did he turn that into? I don't know what that is.
It's a crown.
Huh?
It's a speedometer.
I saw a 7 right here
Yep.
and like little ticks. I thought
You're absolutely spot on. It looks like a speedometer or an old timey radio dial. But
that's a crown.
But
he should have kept the lips, man.
You should have done anything other than that. You can still see the red from the lips beyond the little points of the crown. It's a horrible cover up, but not a great tattoo. The lips look cool. I kind of like the lips. You know, a little something different, but
brutal, man. This lady right here got the Cubs. This is a fan tattoo. She got the Cubs logo on her back. She's wearing a dress, so it's very visible. But the blue circle is green instead of blue, and the caption to it, it's like, well, I'm not sure, you know, if it's just the lighting or whatever. I just don't think she bathes regularly, and it turned green. Got a green hue to it.
She just smell. Now her stuff's starting to turn a little bit.
I think so, dude. But yeah, that
maybe she got that
rough.
cheap ink, you know, like with cheap, like jewelry, finger
Like
turn green,
whatever.
Yeah, she got some of that cheap ink.
That fake ink.
Old Pazlams over there probably gave her the tattoo.
Pazlam. Hey, man.
Old Pazlam.
It's so much easier to talk about now that it's been 10 years because I can be like, I was young and it was a mistake that happened. But like when you're young and it happened, you don't want to tell anybody.
Of course not.
I mean, now I'm in my early 30s. It happened when I was 21 years old, almost 22. So it's no big deal. It's fine. It doesn't bother me.
It's whatever. I don't care.
I don't. I'm not bothered by it anymore.
All right. Okay.
Dude, it does stop. I don't care.
Let it go.
All right, let it just get off it, man.
Shout out to all the fans who got tattoos of their team's championships before they ever did it.
Anybody that does that, it's always the way. You're always a jinx. It never works. I've seen people do it with the Cowboys. Seen people do it with Kentucky basketball.
Major props to this dude with the Houston Texans tat that says Super Bowl 46 champs. Like, I don't even know who won the Super Bowl that year, but I can guarantee the Texans weren't in the running for it.
Or the Texans even? Well, I guess, yeah, it was 46 wasn't too long ago.
Bill O'Brien won the division like 6 years in a row and played in the worst playoff game of the week. Like, he was always that early Saturday game for like 6 years. It would be Texans versus, you know, a backup quarterback in the Bengals or something.
Yeah.
But to get the tattoo, Texans.
When did the Texans even become a franchise?
2002.
Okay, so yeah, it was before 46 then. 46 wasn't that long ago, actually. It was only like 5 or 6 years ago, right?
No, can you name a recent Super Bowl you thought, hey, the Texans got a shot?
Yeah. No, not at all. But exactly. I want to see who won it that year. Super Bowl 46. Who was in 46? It was the
Giants beat the Patriots.
It was Giants-Patriots in 2016.
Was that the Manningham?
Super Bowl 46.
What year? 2012. That was the Manningham year. Yeah. That was the second one.
So the 2011 season. It was a 2011 season. Let me see. Houston Texans, 2011.
What was the record? Probably, 10-6.
They
probably won the division. I guarantee did they play the Bengals or the Raiders in a playoff game to start it off?
I got you. Hold on one second.
the Texans there for those Bill O'Brien years, they would make the playoffs every year, and you look at their team and go, how? So bad.
Who was their quarterback then? Ryan Mallett?
Dude, it was like Brian Hoyer one year. It was Ryan Mallett one year. It was TJ Yates one time. Go down playoff game logs.
They
Cincinnati
beat the Bengals. They beat the Bengals and then lost to the Ravens 20-17. Or no, wait, I take that back. That was his. No, it was 13-20. Excuse me, 13-20. I was looking at his completions on the 17.
Shout out to that guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
He said TJ Yates and the boys going to get it done. Click on that playoff game against the Bengals. See who's the quarterback for that one box score. Let's see. QB. Keep her going. Keep her going.
There we go. TJ Yates.
TJ Yates.
Mm.
Andy Dalton lost that game too. Still hadn't won a playoff game, and one of those losses came to the Texans. And
TJ Yates was 11 for 20 in that game for 159 yards.
Dude, and they won by 21, didn't they?
Yeah, it was like 31-10.
That was a good time to have J.J. Watt. That was a great time to have some J.J. Watt.
Yeah, no question. And finally, before we get out of here, we can talk more tattoos another day. But I don't know if you saw this, but Garrett Riley, the TCU offensive coordinator, is going to Clemson. Clemson's trying to beef up the offense. Honestly, like he caught a lot of.
Well, I mean, after all that offense in the championship game, why wouldn't you hire him?
He's trying to he's catching a lot of grief. I get it, but you're getting a massive upgrade in talent. If you're Garrett Riley, you're getting a massive upgrade in talent and depth.
For sure.
In Clemson. You're leaving, and it's a smart move. Leave TCU this year because they're losing. I think they had 40-something, like either sixth year or COVID senior guys on their team.
Yeah.
So you're losing a bunch. Get out of there while you're still a very hot name and go somewhere like Clemson, who's a big name school that can use it's not like you're coming in and taking over for someone who just set the world on fire offensively. You're coming in, you're taking over a program that's very good, got a ton of talent and depth, and you get to go in there and try to revitalize their offense. And you're getting who's going to be a sophomore now, Cade Klubnik, a very talented quarterback. It's a great situation for him, man.
I love Klubnik. I think that guy's going to be a stud. Going to help Clemson get back to being at the top like they were before Uiagalelei took the reins and brought them down to mediocrity. Good move for Riley. Good move for Nick Saban to be down at that game, taking a look, see what I want to offer this guy a job. What I want to do, the pass on that one. It's tough to look at a guy who's offense coordinator in a national championship game. His team scored 7 points and they lost by 58 points. 58. I would check the score, but Dan Lanning tattooed last year's natty score to his fake representation of his real wife on his ribcage. But yeah, he's going to need to show it, man. But like you said, he's got great talent.
Yeah, that's going to be very good.
Speaking of OCs,
and
Bill O'Brien, a guy I was talking about a little earlier,
he's still there at Alabama. And some thought that Garrett Riley could be a name for Alabama to watch if they got rid of Bill or if they figured that situation out. And now that the Patriots aren't in the playoffs, you would imagine that they'd make a move and make a decision on Bill O'Brien soon. That's going to help Alabama out because there's some guys that they could go and get offensive coordinator wise. A guy like Cliff Kingsbury's on the table.
And I've been talking to people. They're going, hey, well, what's the deal with Bill O'Brien? Are they getting rid of him? Like what? And if you know how Nick Saban's rolled in the past, even with coordinators who, maybe didn't have a great time there, he never fires a coordinator. That coordinator always just finds another job. I think it's a professional courtesy thing. I'm not going to take you down, especially for a lot of these guys that enter the rehab program there at Alabama. It's like, Saban's real into trying to get guys jobs, even if he doesn't think they did a good job with the team. And I think that's what's going to happen with Bill O'Brien. I mean, the Patriots announced they're interviewing for offense coordinator positions now. I think it's a done deal. Bill O'Brien's going to be the guy they go for. He fits all the things the Patriots look for when they hire coaches. He's been there before. He's had success. He fits it. So I think once that happens, it's not like Alabama's just going to go out there and fire Bill O'Brien and tear him back down to where he was before he even got to Alabama. They're going to let him take that new job and then find somebody. I wouldn't be surprised if they already have a guy. They're just waiting on the right time. Well,
Alabama has different problems right now. They've got another coaching spot to fill because about an hour ago, Pete Golding is taking the same position at Ole Miss.
See what I'm saying?
Pete
Wasn't
Golding,
fired.
according to Chris Lowe, Aaron
Is
Suttles.
that real?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Alabama defensive coordinator
man.
Pete Golding has agreed to the same position at Ole Miss. The Athletic can confirm Chris Lowe had it first.
Dude, shout out to Pete in his press conference when they asked him, hey, you plan on being here next year? He's like, yeah, dude, I got another year of my contract. I plan on being here. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, where all my stuff go? Oh, man, I guess I live in Mississippi now. That Dewey before the year, it gives you the right to get rid of a guy like that. And Pete Golding is a guy that I think a lot of people. It's like, do I hate Pete? Do I love Pete? I hate him. I love him. I hate him. I'm indifferent. Whatever. I could have seen Pete staying for another year, but I had a way to get him. He had a job to go to, and the DUI right before the season. It's like, for all the people that are saying this defense underperformed, and you look at the guy who's leading the defense, stuff like that, it's hard to, keep that guy as a leader.
So who does Alabama go after for DC?
Oh, man.
And I'm going to stop you right now because I know what a lot of Alabama fans are going to say.
D'Amico Ryans.
He's going to be an NFL head coach eventually.
He's not.
He might be an NFL head coach like next season. He's not going to go be the DC at Alabama. He's got legit NFL head coaching buzz.
I would love D'Amico Ryans, but yeah, like you said, it's the Niners and his defense are performing too well for him to take a college defensive coordinator gig.
I'll give you the popular one.
What?
I don't know if he'll be allowed in the SEC or not, though. Jeremy Pruitt. Bring old Pruitt back.
Bring Pruitt back. Same Bill O'Brien situation, but with Alabama. You've had him before.
If you can get Pruitt back, like if he's allowed to coach in the SEC right now with all the allegations pending at Tennessee, if they do allow him to take that role, you absolutely pull the trigger on that. That is a no-brainer move as DC for Alabama. However, I don't know if they're going to be able to get that done. So.
Is it because of all the stuff?
It would be like the Hugh Freeze thing. People were concerned about.
Yeah, but is there actual sanctions? Would he be suspended? Like, what would be the?
Well, probably. So it's the thing is, like, they don't want to see someone come back into the conference where their old team was and coach in that conference while their old team is on a penalty.
That's fair.
If it's as a coordinator, they might have some leeway, but he might have a show cause. So they might issue him a show cause. It might be retroactive to when he got fired. So they might go ahead and let him be one. I don't know how that's going to work, but is potentially a thing that he won't be allowed to coach in the SEC for a while. So.
I wouldn't mind Pruitt. I mean, the defense was very good when he was there last.
Oh, yeah.
His defense was so good it got him the head coaching job at Tennessee. So I'd love to have Pruitt back. Who are some other names? I mean, I just off the top of my head, I can't really think of who.
I don't honestly can't think of any either. Pruitt would be the first one.
Jim Leonard, maybe with Wisconsin.
Maybe.
He was the interim after they fired. God, what's his name? Who was the coach at Wisconsin? He wore the sweaters.
Paul Christ, right?
Paul Christ, yeah. When they canned Chris and made Leonard the interim coach, I don't think they brought him on to be the full-time coach. They hired Fickle. Yeah. Leonard would be a good. I think he's a solid defense coordinator. I don't know.
I would just say Pruitt.
I just like to see a guy that can take all of the talent on that Alabama defense and have them playing like they did back in the day when they had all of that talent on the Alabama defense and they moved around like Georgia's defense does right now. Alabama and Georgia both got the same level of talent on defense, but Georgia's guys look faster. Yep. Do they not? Georgia teams look like the Alabama defenses used to
100%.
Back in the day. If you're going to try to go east and west on Georgia, good luck getting yards because those guys are faster than you.
Yeah.
Linebackers too. That's what all I want to see, man. Just get those guys moving around. Utilize your players. It felt like Will Anderson's last year was kind of wasted. Even though he had great numbers.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel dominant.
For sure. Oh, for sure. And speaking of Will Anderson, to answer one more question in the chat before we go, Robert had asked, who do you think the Bears take in the draft? I think they trade down probably to like Indianapolis or maybe Houston if Houston wants to trade up and secure that number one spot. They've got plenty of bargaining chips, right? The Bears don't need a quarterback at number one. They probably need an edge rusher. So they'll probably, in my opinion, go after a Will Anderson or a Jalen Carter and, wait for but they could take that guy at number one if they want to, but they'll probably trade down and get that guy anyway, get some more draft capital because they're in a very valuable position since they have the number one pick and they have two division rivals, the Texans and the Colts, who are division rivals with each other right there at like 3 and 4, who want to get their quarterback, right? So they'll probably have some trade interest, trade down, and probably end up with Will Anderson or Jalen Carter or somebody on the defense.
That's a huge get for them. Yeah, they got to trade that pick. You got to stick with Fields.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, he was 64 yards away from having the most rushing yards in a single season for a quarterback.
Dude, especially if you can trade that number 1 pick and get a big-time receiver.
Yeah.
Like I said, Claypool.
Because you're going to get another first-round pick if you trade it. You'll get like the third or the fourth pick to get your defensive guy.
Pull
you'll get
what the Eagles did last year.
Mm-hmm.
You find a team like the Titans who are stupid, and you steal their best player.
Here's how you get it done, right? Between now and the draft, you get the Cardinals to hire Bill O'Brien. And then you get Bill O'Brien to trade DeAndre Hopkins again.
He'll do it again.
Yeah, he absolutely will.
He'll totally do it.
So here you go.
Yo, get this, though. Bill O'Brien possibly getting talked to the Patriots. Arizona looking to trade DeAndre Hopkins. New England looking to get a big-time receiver. Does hiring Bill O'Brien keep you from getting DeAndre Hopkins?
100% it does. Absolutely it does.
Oh, my God, we're going to end up with Bill O'Brien again next year. Oh, no, DeAndre Hopkins. The trade's coming back to haunt us now. Why do we got to pay? We didn't do anything.
Hey, you know what? Why don't you take the rest of the day off and think about it? I don't need time. I don't need to touch you, probably.
Oh, I forgot you're sick. Get away from
Take the rest of the day off. That's going to do it for the show. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. We're off on Monday. Hopefully you're all off on Monday as well for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We will see you again on Wednesday. We'll have more answers to the Alabama defensive coordinator thing. We'll recap the NFL playoff first-round action. We'll do all that stuff. Ricky will be doing it from a basement since he will probably be sick.
I'm feeling warm.
Until then, I'm Tony Mack. That's Tricky Ricky. This has been the Bullpen. We'll see you next week.
Oh, no. Oh, the hallucinations. Ah!